Hey y'all, what's up? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Hope you all enjoying your day. And welcome back, all of y'all who was on my earlier live. Appreciate you coming back again for The Best Man, the final chapter. Yes, it's been a while now. I have been saying that I was going to review it, and I'm finally here to review it. And have a conversation and discussion. I watched it once, and I was supposed to watch it again to take notes, but I say, you know what? Let's have a conversation. Maybe, hopefully, some of y'all saw already. If not, we could discuss some of the social cues and topics that have been presented in the show, and also talk about how y'all feel about the characters, because this has been like a journey. Been watching them from the best man all the way to now. So it's been a while. So if you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel, Mr. 14. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell and click on all so you'll be notified for all my videos. Instagram is Mr. Grown. Twitter is Thomas_Grown. Discord is Mizzle14, hashtag 3488. Or the link is down in the description box. Or you want to so please decline to support. It's $ Mizzle140. Hold up, y'all. Gotta see my face. Hey, what's going on? What's up? I forgot to put my ticker last video, so here we go. Yes. So make sure you put the thumbs up. Oh, the series is good. I would say that I feel like they could have done more with some of the storylines. I feel like, I don't know, they could do another season with it. And I hope they do. Because it's so more y'all could give us with this series and as the final chapter. Instead of being the final chapter, you should be in the final chapters because it could have been more. Some storyline was not fleshed out as much. Some of it was like rushed, but overall, the whole 8 episodes did give like a complete, a complete ending to the series. Even though I feel like, and some of the people who has watched it feel like they could have done more and more to it. And we're gonna discuss that as we go into it. But we all grew to love some of the people. So we can still have a conversation about how we feel about their growth, their journey, and everything. As I tied in some of what happened in the series, then you get a better idea of what they have become. And it's so good to love the cast. The cast is a beautiful cast, all great people. The acting was great. I feel like I do enjoy how they tie in a lot of realistic things and things that people all be going through in real life to their characters and their growth and the journey. Uh, yes, I feel like it should be a second season. I feel like it should be another one, but I don't know. We'll talk about it and see how that goes. But question is, when did y'all start watching The Best Man? Did y'all start watching from all the way from the beginning? Did y'all start watching from the second part, holidays? Or y'all start watching The Best Man? I have watched every one, the last one of them. Now, like I said, I do enjoy that they got everyone from this same movie continue the next series, and I said I'm glad that nobody stayed out of it or couldn't do it and had to fill it with someone else. It wouldn't be The Best Man without the same central focus point of people. Shell, Quentin, Lance, Harper, Merch, Shelby, Robin, Candace, Jordan, and those 8 people. I watched both movies. Great. And the storyline. Now, we unfortunately we don't have Mia. Y'all remember Mia? That was Monica Calhoun character, and she fortunately passed away on the last movie that we saw, and that was devastating. Camille was like a nucleus. She was like the glue to the group, and she was like the kind of like a mama nurturing kind of character. And I know before she passed away, she was trying to get a lot of characters together and trying to be there for them. I know she's more like we for one of the character, and then she would talk to somebody else for another thing. So she had her moments with each character before she passed away. And Lance took it to heart because that was his wife, and that's somebody he loved for a long time and had children with. And that scene when he broke down that cemetery, I was like, oh my gosh, that was acting. I was like, chill. When he broke down, I was like, Harper had to hold him up. Mm-mm-mm. So yes, the Best Man series, the final chapter was 8 episodes. So it was on Peacock TV, and I did watch it longer than like a few weeks ago, and it was great. And I know more people will start coming in later on, so let's just start talking about it. Like I said, I didn't take notes, so it's gonna be all about memories and all stuff like that. But this is all in. It's like the series did jump from 2015 until now. So it was like a little time spirit. It just like it happened right after the holiday, Best Man holiday, and it continued from that and move forward on. Right? So Quentin, you saw that Quentin is dating this lady named Zia Mara. Zia Mara is Nicole Ari Parker, for Soul Food. And she's like this holistic type of approach. She was very well known. She was the supermodel and everything, and she would quit and because it was like probably like a power play, power couple. Because he's a trust baby. He has funds. He has wealth, very wealthy. He runs his father's business, who owns like chains of hotels and resorts and stuff like that. So Quentin is that. And Quentin and Shelby had a little moment in Best Man Holiday because they was never really together. I think he wanted to try with Shelby, but she was never like ready for him because it was like a play thing. Y'all remember the Best Man Holiday? They had the last scene that ended when they woke up in the bed together. They said, "Oh no!" But I feel like I think he wanted to try to test the water, see how it goes with Shelby, but I think she was too scared to be with him because Quentin was never someone who you could control. He was always someone that you could. He was free spirit. He speak his mind. He did what he wants. He was a man's man, and that's what he is. So you can't control Quentin. And for him to be with someone like Zia Marla when he's not himself, we not the jokester that we seen Quentin about, someone who's do what he wants, who had this bravado about him that makes you want to be drawn to him, but also be sick of him at the same time. And that what he had, and we didn't see that. So I feel like the only person who really was not like lighting this new found Quentin was Harper. Everybody was getting a man at Harper because he had like a thing. And he was like, no, Harper was right. It's like, this is not the Quentin that I know. Where's the Quentin that crack jokes? Who's the Quentin that's like this? He's not the one. My opinion of Shelby was fake if only. Ooh, why you say that? Spain, like this is a discussion. So why you say Shelby was fake and phony? I do feel like Shelby was not displaying her real self as much that she can. Because in the Best Man Holiday, she had a daughter, and she was like talking to her daughter more and also like that and everything. And that's that. So he was with Zamara, and she's like this holistic kind of person. It was like, yes, namaste. And she's into herself. When she gave a speech, she said, and I'm this, and I'm the supermodel, and when I best won the BET Awards, when I won the Soul Trains Awards, when I won the Emmys, when I won the Grammys, when I won the best Sesame Street Character Award. When I won all that, and they say damn well she ain't won all that. Okay, now she doing the most, but she did to herself. And then when Harper was to challenge her, she said, "What you talking about? You talking about I'm not that great? What do you mean? I'm just a great Zia Moore. What's up?" And he said, "I'm playing with you, Harper. I'm playing with you." Everything. So they all went to the resort, and the specific name on the resort is like escaping me, but it was a nice resort. But it was like the establishment that one of the resorts that Quentin family owns. So they was able to be there and celebrating his upcoming wedding, all that stuff. Now we know that Shelby is a housewife. She plays Real Housewife. We don't know what housewife she was playing in, but she was a housewife. And she had a scene was Andy messy behind, and Andy messy behind. He was saying, "How you feeling?" Everything, all the stuff like that. She said, "What's going on?" And he said, "But the thing was, Quentin, are you okay with that?" She said, "There's a question there, Andy." He said, "Well, girl, you had a hard time when you found out what was going on with Quentin." She said, you lying. He said, no, all the tapes. So he said, don't, come on, Shelby. Bravo have the tapes. So it was a scene that Shelby was getting a pedicure, and I guess somebody called her and said that Quentin was with someone and everything in the office like that. So she got up, knocked the lady over, get out the damn thing, went in the car, realized that she was getting filmed in the car. So she got out the car and she went to take a taxi. They drove over to his place, started beating Quentin up, saying, how dare you use all this money? Like, she was upset. She was pissed. And it was like that. And that's that. But they never really got with each other. And you can tell she still have feelings, because if you don't really have feelings for him like that, you want to be going off from him, off on him, because what you heard. So when Andy messing behind showed Shelby the picture of the person that Quentin is gonna be marrying, you could tell right then and there. She said, "Oh my gosh," because she was not going to the resort, but this Shelby became a better mother. I would say this with Shelby. Shelby relationship with her daughter, they could have tapped in more into that, but she was trying to show her daughter the finer things of things and work ethics and stuff like that. So I think her big fault in this, when she mentioned and told Quentin that her daughter is actually his daughter, he's the biological father. And for the daughter's 15 years old, and the daughter's like a small spoiled brat right now. I think that everything should be handed to her. That's how you could create her. It's like that. And he didn't know that. And I would say, oh my God, what is time? Because during the resort, Shelby did crash the party. She crashed the wedding party. She did crash it. Because she said, oh, you think you got me effed up? Think I ain't gonna come? Shelby's like, And the magnetism between Quentin and Shelby is undeniable from each other. They can't separate from each other. So once they come there, she was trying to say, what the hell you doing here? And they was arguing back and forth. And I hate you, and I hate you too, and everything. And then next minute, it came like a baby boy scene. Oh, I love you, Gwen. I love you too. And they have sex and everything. And that's that. So the whole thing with them is like, okay, now she's here. Now I can't get over her. You know how I feel while being inside you and everything. I said, oh, cool, you're so animated. So that's that. So as when she told them when they finally got married, because they did get married, because at the end of the day, Zia Mara knows that Shelby is having sex with her fiance and everything. And she said, girl, you need to be worried about your own child. And she said, get my daughter out of my name. She said, keep my man out yours. I said, ooh, Zia Mara having it. So that's that. So while they was going through all that, Murch, right? Murch is upset because he's not the best man. Okay, once again, Harper is the best man for Quentin's wedding coming up. So Murch is upset. He feel like he knows that he's good and everything. He just feel like he's not being heard. It's like that. So throughout the freaking trip, he was going throwing jabs at Harper and everything. Oh, how you don't know this? I'm the best man, all stuff like that. Murch want to be the best man. So I guess he decided to plan this stripper. No, not stripper. A bachelor party. And I guess Shelby wanted to show Quentin what's up. Because I didn't do at the result. They were freaking each other and stuff like that. And at some point, he was saying, Dad, I got to keep up with this so much. And I don't know about Zia Mara, all that stuff. And before that happened, they was on this beach when they had a Wasika thing. It was a Wasika moment when they got to sit there and they had to take this spiritual journey with themselves, and then like the thing, and then you just have to see yourself in different planet and different universe And Candace saw her higher self, and she was speaking to her higher self because Candace is all about this. She's doing a thesis because she's in a doctorate program, and she's trying to talk about the plant-based, holistic, natural approach of medicine, and introduce that in schools like that, a different approach. And I don't understand that because there's other natural remedies and plant-based remedies that you could do that could help with illnesses and ailments in people that just not just man-made. Yes, they go hand in hand, intended hand in hand, natural thing, man-made, and then natural remedies. It's like that. But sometimes you don't want to neglect one than over the other ones because it go health both hand in hand. And the fact that we all from Earth could heal us. So she was having that moment of the approach, and when she was in her high self, she was looking at things and said, "Oh my gosh, this is what it is," and you good and you on one, because she was doubting herself a little bit because she's a teacher and everything, and hey, she was getting award honored of being, because I think her and Merch opened like a school. Playboys, they all good, definitely all good, and you can't neglect that. You can't really do that, and sometimes it could help. Take man medicine, and also take man remedies. My mother still do it every now and then with remedies, and when it gets sick, she make us some natural remedies and stuff like that for us to take, and then get better. So it's all what you want to take. But I say you could take both approach, and not just medicine, also other wellness of body and meditation and yoga and stuff like that to make your mental and your body feel good. So I think they open like a charter school, something like that, and they go well prestigious um, professors, it's like that. And that's that. And Robin also was meditating as well and getting to different things. So they all had their different moments in it. Do you eat plant-based food? I am on a nutritional diet, and I do eat a lot of greens and stuff like that, and plant food, and as well as working on a high fiber and protein diet. So I am eating 3 times a day and getting a lot of little nutrients that I need to live a healthy, a more lifestyle. So I'm on that journey. Yes. And it's not specifically just plant based because I still like my meat, but vegetables and all that other stuff and things that's healthy and good for me. Yes, I need more of those. So that's this whole approach with the Watska, and then when I started that, it was just so natural. It was, I would love to go to like a retreat, something like that. Just to be one of yourself and to be in it. It's like meditate and relax and let the things come at you. Be one of earth and one of nature and stuff like that. It just feel free. And that's all I like to do one day. It's like I do want to sign up for yoga one day. I like to do other things inside the normal stuff that I've been doing. But I'll get there. So during the midst of that, I guess Shelby asked Candace to help her create a dance act for Quentin. And child, Shelby did her thing. She was dancing, she was doing a lot of things, she was stripping for Quentin, all that stuff. And every time I hold my eyes. Yeah, you know that the Casey Jody C song. It was nice. And she did the split and she was doing that for Quentin and said, "Tell me you like it, tell me you like it and everything." And I was like, "Oh, he like it and everything." And from there, he was hooked. He said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best present I ever had. It's the best party I needed. Thank you, and everything." But the reality kicks in and realizes, say, he is marrying Ziamara. So what I'm doing here? So she decides to leave and go to the airport, and Quentin didn't want to go. He chased after Shelby, and said, "I love you. I want to be with you," and stuff like that. And Shelby and Quentin ended up getting married. And after they got married, that's when she got on the phone with her daughter, and she told her, no, she told Quentin before she was on FaceTime with her daughter that this is your daughter. And at first he didn't caught on to it. And then he caught on, and I was like, oh wow. So I guess that little rendezvous they had, all that stuff, realized that was his daughter all this time. Remember he chastised her in the last in the movie about how she was speaking to her daughter and everything. That was at the moment and everything, but never noticed that all this time that was he was the father. And I said, why? I was wondering why she hold this on for so long. Why she never told them. And that's part of the reason why she was feeling how she feeling about him. But you never gave him a chance because they wanted to. So I feel like now it's like, but she also know that Zayamar wasn't right for him either. It's like you can't be in someone's shadow because that's not you quitting. You was like you was your own man, and the fact that you just faltering and just do whatever the ZMR want, the holistic approach, and then this thing and I was like, what's all that? So that's that. So they got married, right? Now, meanwhile, Harper, y'all know Harper. Harper is the writer, and he's very ambitious about things, but he's very self-centered, and to the point that sometimes he don't see things around him or don't understand what everybody coming from around him because he's so into himself and his own bubble and world, and not realize that his actions affects others, like his friends, and more importantly, his marriage with Robin. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So Harper had a deal with this company that they wanted to make Unfinished Business, the first book that started this whole thing, about that book that he wrote that had the sequels in there, and everybody trying to see who was what in character, and that's why Lance find out that Harper had slept with Mia one time, or that's like that. And they wanted to turn that into the movie. And I guess it was a good idea and everything, but he felt like turning this a movie, he needs to get his approval from the people that is in that book who you talking about. Because I mean, like one thing you wrote a book about it, and then we had to come to terms about that because even though you changed the names, we all know who you were talking about because the name, the people and the characters in the book all reflected on your own real life friends. So now you're going, hey Jason, how you doing? So now you're putting a movie out. Yes, it's good. It's a good practice to ask the people who's in that book their blessings for the movie and everything. And I said, Chad, you want to do a movie at that thing? So throughout the thing, he was feeling uneasy. Uncle always would choose. Always would choose Jordan. Robin knew he was. Hey, Marty, how you doing? Always would choose Jordan. Yeah, Jordan and Harper friendship is undeniable. It's undeniable. I feel like their friendship is teeters the line of going close to the second edge. But I think that Jordan always chose herself at the end of the day. We're gonna talk about Jordan ambitions in a minute. She chose herself, so I felt like because she chose herself, it was never to the point that they could get further. Hey, Michael F, how you doing? It would never get to the point to that stage at that moment. They had some slip ups every now and then, especially in this series. They had like a one little slip up, but it was never to that point. And I feel like, yes, I think we all feel like that Robin and Harper should never been together. But I feel like Robin did love Harper, and she wanted to always make it work with him and everything, and follow his lead until she started having her own ambitions and the dreams that he was starting not to really overlook and neglect. The movie makes me hate Taye Diggs, even if I see him in the other movies and show. Oh my gosh, really? He was did his job well. If he can make you hate him, so So he always was self-centered. So he had to get his blessings. So throughout the thing, he was a little uneasy. He was asking everyone. He asked his wife first, and she was on board a little bit. She said, "This is good things, but ask the other people." And everybody else was somewhat a little bit about it. It took all to the end of that second episode when they all gave their blessings. Now, first Lance, right? He had to go around each ask everyone, and then Lance was the last person. So I think Merch and Harper went to see Lance, and when Lance opened the door, he had his robe open, dingo out, and he had full hair, and he was going through it with missing his late wife Mia, so he's still mourning over her, and so what he doing to get over that, or at least trying to remedy at least a little bit temporary relief of his wife, is having random sex. And he not always using a condom. So, he just free dogging random bees, random girls, having sex with different ladies, and all what he want to do. And I said, oh my gosh, not being careful, just free and everything. And, Morris Chestnut is a fine specimen. Fine specimen, everything. Nice chocolate brother. Yeah, it was good. And they, come on. So, have sex like her did when he was with her. Child. Lance isn't playing. He was probably in the bedroom. But got man only a Harper, but not me. Okay. Oh, got mad. Okay, got mad only a Harper, but not me. Yeah. I think he got only. I feel like, yes, they both was born of what happened. But I feel like he got mad at Harper more because they were supposed to be best friends and everything. And he never really told him the truth. And I think Mia cut the secret too. And they probably had to get over that little patch as well. But I feel like with Harper, that was his really road dog. And for you to put that out there in a book and never let me know, that was crazy. I had to find out in the book. Now, every other his friend in the group figured out what's going on. And I think he always wanted to tell Lance, but he never got to tell Lance. And Lance had to find out in the book before it's too late that he got beat up and everything. So it was like, I feel like it hurt more that his bro did that to his girl that he really loved. And everything. Like Mia was wrong too, but I feel like Harper knowing that was messed up. Please. Men pass around women all the time. Ain't no bro goes. Yeah, but they do. But some respectful man does don't want their woman to be part of their helm, whatever you want to have them, and click and groupies and stuff like that. And he always, he always valued his girl for Mia. That was his love, always. So that's one part that he'll never think that his friend would even mess with. And the fact that it happened and never get to tell him that's messed up. Because I was like, I would have been upset too. Like at the end of the day, whatever you've done, if this person I love, and this person I love, don't try that. Don't try that. And then you'll try it and that would tell me and I have to find out in a book. Child. He only valued her because she was a virgin. I mean, I think it's more than that. Lance really did love Mia. It's not because she just was a virgin. You talk about Lance or you talk about Harper? And yes, there are guys who get turned on when a woman who's a virgin. and he's the first and everything. But I would never diminish Lance and Mia's love because they did love each other. They really do love each other. So Lance was free dogging. A's out there. So they're supposed to go to this trip. They're supposed to be all going to Quentin thing, and that's what it is. And, he cleaned up the bed and everything, got his little haircut and stuff. And while they was in the thing, meeting Zia Marv the first time, he was in a freaking car banging the freaking driver. I said, oh my gosh. She said, But the flashback with Mia. So. Yes. We're gonna get to about Jasmine. Jasmine is the concierge. I was called concierge or somebody who's coordinating, who's there for the group. And she was engaged at the time, but I feel like Lance saw the essence in her, just like how Mia was. And since then, he really liked her. I was able to build a story. I wish they continue making that. I feel the same way too, because some storylines was definitely ended, so something could be fleshed out more. Could they introduce something? I feel like it could have been done more. I wish they wasn't able to build on this story. I wish they continued making episodes. I feel like so too, or at least a second season. So Lance met Jasmine and everything, and Lance was doing a lot. Doing the whole thing result, he was actually doing what he wanted to do. But at the same time, also thinking about and remembering Mia. So he having a hard time. So Lance was giving a hard time with Harper when he brought up the idea of doing the movie because he was not with it at first. So, Lance was out there. He was in the pool doing whatever he wanted to do. And he was all free willy at the pool. Now, ladies at the resort, they was like, oh my gosh. But Jasmine said, have some little decorum for yourself. Like, why not walk around and see why is this place that Quentin decided to choose to get married? Like, explore, see things. And then you get to see what's going on around here and everything. So there, he kind of checked them a little bit. But when he had a vision, a dream, when he saw Mia, then after a while, he saw Jasmine. Then he realized he probably was like a Jasmine. But after a while, he kind of found out that Jasmine was engaged. So he had to fall back from that. But we will visit back with Jasmine later on in the season. So when all this thing said and done with the when it happened, he got married to Shelby and everything. I guess, yes, I did like their friendship as well. Yes, their friendship was great. Everything. Because I like how she kind of like let him say things and he talks and she intrigued by him, but at the same time let her know that that's because they was doing walks together, they was doing exercise in the morning. So he was doing things that she likes and trying to get the interest to find out he got engaged and stuff like that. But she always like really admired Lance and everything. So that's another thing they had with each other. That was good. So at the end of the second episode, they all decided to give their blessings for the book. Lance was for the movie. Lance was against it, but now he was like, because I guess he started to realize that he could start to see another life with Jasmine. That's before he found out she got engaged. But he started to see things because he was mad at first. And then he was like, you know what? I'm cool. So they all gave their blessings and say, you know what? You could do the movie. Yes, I support it. I'm supporting. Now, meanwhile, Jordan was at our retreat. Oh, Shelby lap dance was something. Shelby did that thing. Did that. She did that. I was like, oh my gosh. And I love dance scenes. So it was like, okay, go ahead, Shelby. So now I jumped on. Hold up, y'all. Let me be right back. And play music real quick. I think Jasmine lied about that, and that she probably didn't want Morris Chestnut rebound like the other girls. Jason, yeah, makes sense. Plus, Jason it helped him by them just being friends for a while. I mean, that'd be possible because we never saw the fiance and everything. So it could be possible that she did lie, or it could possibly it's been the truth, and it just never worked out, and she moved on. But it did give Lance the reason to mature enough to be ready for something else, and hopefully that he could at least work on himself so he could be the better person for the next person. Like him on it because he never heard anything after. Plus, she was always available for him. Yes, because she liked him a little bit. That's the problem. She definitely did like her, and that's what it was. So Jordan, like I said, Jordan is like that career-driven woman, career-driven, high powers into a career and stuff like that. Too much that it was affecting her health. That she was going so much of reading messages, always on her phone, looking at this like that. At some point, she'd be going on her phone like this, and then she was getting blindness going on. And when and also not relationships and everything, we all feel like Harper and Jordan would probably have been the best choice for each other, but it just happened to be one Harper and Robin and everything. And because she's so driven and high on her things, sometimes people find that intimidating and stuff like that. But Jordan's drive is what makes her character great because her drive and what she sees in that she knows. I said, no, Jordan. I know she was going blind. I said she said she wasn't taking care of herself. When she was so wrapped in her work and not and neglecting her health, that's a problem. Because I always say to people, yes, you can love the money, you can love your job, but what good of you when your body is shutting down on you? So, yes, I take mental breaks days sometimes. Cause I don't want to go to work being all angry at people that nobody deserves it. So I take mental breaks at days. I use a sick day. I say I got 10 sick days a year. I take that and use that as mental days. Just to take a mental day. It had to be nothing wrong with me sickly. I just say mental day because mental health is important. Take breaks. Do things. Get your health together. When you know you're in a job where you always look at the pretty screen, because as you can see, I am looking at the pretty screen a lot, and I do YouTube pretty screen, it's like that also. Speaking of that, I got to call the eye doctor because it's been long overdue. Got my last checkup. Child, last checkup was before the pandemic happened, on actors on well, seeing two actors was top notch. Exactly. The acting was definitely top notch. Definitely was. So she was river driven, and then she met this guy on the beach, and I said, "Oh, look at this romantic." But they went there to fall for that. I would say, "Oh, this is nice looking man," but I guess after he told her what a lot of things he like to do, and she was like, "Oh no, I mean, can't do that." I said, "Girl, you better let him do some tricks that he would like to do, chill." But also, yeah. Plus, most corporate jobs only a number. There's only a number anyway. So taking yes to take self-care days. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Share this live, like it up, let people know about me, y'all. It also is always great to take care of yourself. And then when the corporate ladder, when she's a black woman, she always got to work twice as hard to do better than her other counterparts, whether it's other females or male counterparts. So she had to work that hard and climb up the ladder and be successful. And that she had so much dependent on her, it was always like, oh my God, somebody got to depend on me. It's just like this. I got to do what this, that. And then she had a team working on her because she was successful. And she helped one of this lady to get where she's at. But she wanted the lady to drop where she was at and come on her talk show, but that didn't want to happen. So I guess she was called a sellout or something like that. And the people didn't like it. So she had to build her own platform. And that's what she was getting Shelby into it. Let's see. She walked down. You won't break my soul. Yes, yes. And that's when she realized she had to really take self-care and realize, you know what, I can still do what I have to do, but I can't overkill myself at a job when I could do other things that I like. And that's what that was always Jordan's strength was, Jordan's leaning long, so like that. That was always her strength of choosing herself. So when she was at the last, like late last, all the way in the end of the series, when everybody was asking her advice in that way, you know what? She didn't completely quit. Now it made it seem like she quit, but she said she'd be a consultant, and then she have other things that she would like to do on the meantime. So she still have that job, but she's not always physically there all the time, and she can work for her and make the work for her instead of overworked. And she said, "You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. I tell everybody." And she chose herself, and that's what I like. But she had this talk show that she wanted to do, and she would have piloted it for the network, and she had Shelby as part of it. But people was not feeling Shelby because Shelby had that housewife stinks to her. That, oh yes, this is that, she's down to earth and she can say that it is and everything. And people was not feeling her after this. So they were trying to say the way we gotta get Shelby going on, Shelby had to really turn it. But actually Shelby is kind of quite smart if she tapped into it. But she just never did. But because when they had the book club, they all wanted to talk about the drama. The girls, Robin, Jordan, Candace, and they had a book club. They wanted to talk about the book. Well, I was trying to talk about good book, and everybody was trying to talk about drama. And Shelby was like, "Listen, I'm not reading no 300 pages book. Tell me what's going on, something like that." So she looked back and forth and everything. She said, "Oh, so basically it's this up." And Raven said, "Robin, she said basically it's like racism and how we should not how it affect us and what is the turn and what we should not overlook and like that." It was basically that lines. And Robin said, "Oh, pretty much." She said, Here you go." So what she had to do is trying to brand herself as too much not of like a pop in the mouth housewife, and started like brand herself with the glasses, and she be intellectual and everything, and then she won the people over, and that's what it is. So Shelby got her little job with the network and the Rodman, and Jordan got her little show off the air, and it was great. Enjoy that. Nice. So at that trip, Robin is finding herself, because Robin throughout the years put herself second to Harper, over back of his dreams, his ideas, his self worth, what he wanted to do, and she always had been neglecting hers. So at the time when she was at that trip for Quentin's wedding party, you could tell she won with the nature. You could tell she's more humanitarian and more people pleaser and people giver and helping others. She cooks food for the homeless. She serves. She do charity. She does cooking and everything. So that's her thing. So when she was at the thing, she sort of on her, and she was just loving the environment, loving this peacefulness, loving the earth, loving everything surrounding her that gave her influences, the creativity to create her mind to what things was going on. And I appreciate that because sometimes in relationships, it's usually the woman sacrifice their dreams and goals for the sake of the man. And what that happens is that you lose yourself for self. And you need to have the balance, because even if he is a housewife, you want to have some purpose of independence, autonomy from the relationship. And when you don't have that, you lose yourself and you start getting resentful, and know that you lose your worth, or you lose your purpose, you lose your um yeah, you're going life. What are you all here for? Are you existing or are you living? And at the point, you just existing and you want to live. So she had to find what her worth is and get the courage to say. And I could tell when her new fine self, she started getting a lot of Harper's things because Harper was onto himself. So things that he was saying and stuff like that, she was looking at him as like she's just annoyed about what's going on because he's not seeing her or trying to support her in a way that she wants to be supported. And everything is done because he's a writer. He doing things where he wants. And when I guess the movie and stuff like that got success, he want to do more. And I guess he always find the next fix and want to do more and not live in the moment. And that's what Robin had with Harper. Like every time something gets settled at the moment, he would move on to the next and the next and not live with the present. And sometimes it's good to have the dreams and move forward and push forward to your next aspirations because you always want to challenge yourself to do more. When you know you could do more, you could do more. So it's not a bad thing to do that. But sometimes it does help to slow things down and live in the moment and see if it's not affecting the people around you. And it has been. So after a while, she had been losing herself in the marriage. And also it's part of her fault for not speaking up and telling her what she was doing. Yes, and that's what it was. He always thought that what he was doing is beneficial for her. And as much that he feel like yes, he's successful in the aspect of because he was writing other books and he was successful in other books and he was signing books and things and then he just feel like that was enough and he wanted to write something that's for his purpose, which is fine. If you want to write something that is like dear to his heart, it's fine. And everything. So and as well. And he always feel like what he doing is for the benefit of the family. And it feel like that Robin should always go follow along because for years she always has been following him and just doing what he wants and neglecting her own dreams. So he wanted to move from Harlem to Upper West Side because I know he wanted to move. And she didn't want to move there because she said she loved her roots, her plants, and her things, not her plants, but her stance in Harlem. She didn't want to move to the Upper West Side because he felt like it's safer and everything. In which, in some aspects, Upper West Side is a safer neighborhood because I'm in New York. So, but Harlem, in some places in Harlem, it's changed too. It's not that bad like it used to be. So, I live in Harlem, and is the upper part in Harlem, so it's good. So she didn't want to move, and I think she got in trouble when like protesting and rioting. That's around the time the pandemic was happening. People were rioting and protesting of Black Lives Matter and everything. And she got arrested, and her daughter was out there, and he was pissed. And he said, "Never had my daughter out there." And then she said, "I don't think it was an issue that I had my daughter." And I said, "I do understand what Harper's like. Your daughter should be subjected to that. I know you understand. You're trying to teach her the importance of the movement in the matter, but she shouldn't be ejected out there." So when he wrote a poem or something about his experiences, feelings, that's when she decided to move and say, "You know what, we could go, and you could write like this, and you could follow your passion, and this is what you want. Everything, I'll move along with you to Upper West Side." But had to realize he was still not around as much because even though when they moved to Upper West Side, he was barely home. So I was like, "You gotta move, and then you barely in the house. Like, what are you doing?" He would go travel to different things, places for a long period of time. And there was one aspect that she would continue her growth. And she had this place that she wanted a restaurant. And she loved, and I know she met this guy and everything. He was like inspiring her to do more for herself. And she always want to go to things because he got some good recipes and everything. And at this point, everybody was thinking that Jordan might cheated on Harper because how well she was like connected with this guy and everything. But I'll say I don't think that was the case. I feel like it was a little bit, but I said it wasn't the case. I feel like it was It was a way for having someone who connect her to where she wanted to go. And because he was feeding to her desires and make it seem like it was she was ungrateful and she wanted to do something. And so when she wanted the spot, she asked Harper to put a bid on it, so like that, to get it. And he said, I can take care of it, I take care of that, so like that. Yeah, he was not there, and that, and he never did. So it kind of like messed up her dreams and everything. And it just like, so there's another thing to show that when she needs him, he not stepping up for her because it's all about him. And you see it, Harper always been about Harper. And that's how it's been. Yeah, I understand that. But he could have still done it. Because he's not tied down to something that he can't take a few seconds to see what she wanted or FaceTime and get the deal going. And all it took him to bid on it is to take a little phone call and say get it done. It could have been done. Because let's believe if he wanted her to do something at the last minute without a plan, he would expect her to do it. So I don't feel like, yes, it was like rash, but it could have been something he could have done and take a moment to at least see it out. But he didn't do it because he never attempted to do it. He was all by himself. And that's what it was. Yeah. Remember in the tub scene, she tried to force it back then. She was like, oh, just a minute, we belong together. I mean, yes, I feel like Robin and Harper should not have been together. But the fact that Robin was so involved for Harper, Harper took that as she really want to ride for me. And for years, that has been going. And to a point that she started losing herself and she's trying to find her purpose. And it's always been on him. Like at the end of the day, Harper always was centered on Harper. So whoever the ladies were going to be with, it was always going to just be him. And not with just the ladies, his friends groups feel like sometimes he's self-centered. So at the end of the day, she was wrapped up to his world. And sometimes it can be dangerous. When you wrap up with someone else's dreams and goals, you lose your own, you lose your self-worth. Yes, it was a safe choice. But like remember I said, Jordan always picked herself. So she was never going to set second fiddle to another man and just being a housewife and alone. Robin always was self-driven. Yeah, Robin always been faithful to Harper. And that's why it made it seem like she was going to step out. But I know she always been faithful to Harper. And there was no doubt about it. She loved Harper. But I just feel like Harper is not seeing her as a complete individual self. You only see her as a housewife and a mother and not as someone who has goals and ambitions. So because of that, it started causing tensions and strain in the relationship. Because he's not thinking about anybody's feelings. He just thinking about himself. Oh, I gotta do this. This gotta do what? Follow me. And this is this, that, and when she expresses her feelings, it's just like, okay, it's done. And one thing I do feel like Robin of the years always kept it to herself. So she never expresses it for a while. So it was an issue like he can't read mine. So if you were feeling something right away about it, you should have expressed it. But you kept holding it in and holding it in and holding it in. How will he know that you're not feeling happy? How he would know that? He would never know that if you don't say anything. So I feel like it was one thing that she don't say anything. He was he would never know. But so that's when they started to go to therapy. And then she was expressing herself and everything. And he said, oh. and never do. But even then, he still felt like it should have been about him. And what I'm doing is best for us. And I was like, okay, but you're still missing the point, Harper. That's the problem. You don't want to listen. So we're gonna move more forward a little bit, push back a little bit more on that. So with Candace was on her thesis, but the plant based, because it's hit home to her because one of her daughters is suffering from anxiety. So she exactly, that's why it is definitely important. It definitely is important in every relationship, because if you always keep to yourself, and nobody, they ain't gonna never know. But also, personally, I always gotta see communication, not just how you speak; it's also nonverbal cues. If you see someone is not the happy self anymore, or down and look different and changing up, it's like that. You gotta be observant. And yes, the professor, Candace, was doing this thesis, and it was not bad. So she had an advisor that basically was not supporting her thing. It don't feel like it's a good idea. So we don't ask you what your opinion is. It's actually the thesis, my paper, and revision and advisor to make it good. So the fact that her opinions was clashing with the advisor, and the advisor was never supporting it, she was like in a guy, and seemed like he understands and everything. She was persistent and persistent to say, "I want you to revise and everything." He was cool, but it seems like he was kind of like grooming somewhere with Candace to make her drop her guard, so he could try to make that move on her. But it was never at first. So when he was making revisions to her stuff, she don't really understand. It's like you tell her to make the changes, she made the changes, and then you tell her to take it back. I think it was a rules for her to get to his office in some way, shape, or form. So he was making this radical decision on her thing. It doesn't make any sense. And then she was like, "What's going on?" Trying to wrap her brain, and she's getting so focused. So Candace was focused on this paper, and to the point that some of her duties was like lacking the home thing, and then relying on merch. But the only thing about Candace's merch, their marriage was solid. They had some little issues here and there, but it wasn't the point that them themselves didn't love each other, that they was not connected. They always were supporting each other. So their marriage, out of all the other people, was solid. So they was helping each other out. Even at their house, his commitment to merch was weird. His comment, oh yeah, for real, the fact he just, that's the problem. Yeah, he just had a phone. His wife said he loved you, and then he did that. So the whole point of she was doing all that, trying to get the thesis paper, and then she was in his office, and I got this time to fit you in, because Candace was like determined to get this paper done. And at times, yes, it was like calling a damper of the sex life and this thing, but they can still get it on when they're gonna get it on. Just that they gotta find the time to do it. So when she was in the office, she was doing the paper, and after he got on the phone with his supposed wife, then he started touching the shoulder, and then went down and everything, all stuff like that, and touching her. And she said, "Get off of me." And from there, it was like, what the hell? And I said, this douchebag, really? Preying on the freaking advisee? I mean, it was okay. The reason why I said Birch and Candace was solid is like they've been together for a while, and their relationship has been really solid. That's the point that it was rocky. Now Shelby and Q, they started off as a freak buddies. There was never a relationship. I know he wanted to try, but she was scared of it until they got married to the thing, and then they got okay. So I feel like the reason why I didn't really add Q and Shelby into it is because compared to everyone else, Candace and Hart Munch been together for a while, and their relationship has been solid. It gave me Bill Cosby. Ciao. Whew. And to the fact that when she went home, he was in the couch sleeping, and she thought it was her fault. And you know how when you internalize it, what they're doing, everything, and she just cried like soft. When you have that cry that no sounds comes out, she just wailing with no sound, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you really hurt, really hurt." Now with Merch have a feeling that he don't feel heard. He always feel like he's a butt of a jerk for his friend group, and nobody really care for him like that. No, their friend group does love Merch. I just in Merch thing, he feel like he not appointed because he don't feel like he being valued. So when he been passed over for being best man, he had a feeling that Harper made him look like a brat, or not like a brat, look like a sucker in the movie or in the book. So he wanted the Harper to change his character a little bit because he didn't like it. But he didn't really express that to Harper and everything because he felt that. And at the same time, Harper would probably want to listen. His oil himself. So it was like, and also he felt kind of hopeless. Do you have any favorite characters? To be honest, I have enjoyed every one of them. So they all gave me some pieces that I like. But I did like Jordan character. The reason why I like Jordan character because it's like she's self-ambitious like I myself. And yes, and find your own peace and happiness. Now, she would neglect her health. So I do like Jordan. And they didn't care for Harper like that. Can't really do it. But I do like Merch as well. Merch, like, you can tell Merch really love and cares and everything. And I didn't mind Candace either. Candace, Merch, and Jordan is to be my top. Now Shelby was funny and Quentin is funny too, because you know they two together is funny. But compared to the characters, I feel like they three was the best to me. He's like Candy. He's like Candy came from dancing and making men's meet to being a established professor and everything and doing that, and she's well known and very intuitive and stuff like that, and love it. Mm. Oh, Terrence Howard with that name. He is funny. Don't get me wrong. Quentin is funny. Jail. For me, it was Terrence Howard. Keep my wife name out your mother mouth. And that's not what you said, boy. Jail. I like Jordan Shelby. So yeah, I love Jordan. And like I did like Shelby too. But I feel like I like Jordan more. And what I was saying before. So yeah, Merch felt like he was helpless because it was one point he flagged the taxi down. He got the taxi. The taxi stopped for him. So this Karen, came in with her dog to the seat. Don't touch my dog. And this is my taxi. And this like that. He said, stop the problem. He said, you stop for him. So why you not saying that to the chick? He went on choices like that to the point that he couldn't do it much. Jordan had more development. Yes, it definitely did. Um, he said, you know what, let her get. And he just felt pissed about that. To the point that he signed up for MMO. And I said, oh, for a teacher to an MMO, okay. And he did well. He took his aggressions out for something a voice that has always been hidden, not being heard, expressed that self to physical. And after a while, he kept that to himself. And even while doing that and being there for the daughters and being there for Candace that she's needed to be and everything. And, even though they had some of the issues, but they always been there for each other. It was one point that they showed a match that was on TV, and she did not realize that he was doing it. She got there, they all was there, and she got turned the hell on. She said, "Oh my God! Ooh, get out!" Get up, baby! And she said first she was a little scared, then she got all hype on it. I said, "That's how you do. Root for your man, chill." And he did a good job. And they got home, and that's when she started realizing, you know what? It'd be safe because at a while she never said anything, and I was like, Candace, tell your man, tell him, like you just say something because you keep it to yourself. It's not you go internalize it, and you go yourself crazy. So you gotta tell someone. And she did. And he was gonna get up and say, "Oh, where he at?" She said, "No, no, no." The the moment I know sometimes when you tell someone a thing that it may feel good for you to go out and beat the person up, but sometimes you got to realize the person who just told you the thing, they want you to be near them and make them feel safe. So as much that you want to do that, and that's a good thing, sometimes they want you to be there for them, hold them, let them know everything's okay, these way, and that's what she wanted. And he gonna get his, and he definitely did got his. At the end of the day, she did say something, and then realized he did this to other people. And sometimes it takes one person to say something. And I know I was watching people say, "Oh, they were trying to get at her." And I was saying, "No." At the end of the day, she was an advisee, and he's an advisor and a professor in the college. So at the end of the day, if she speak up, sometimes it's not always getting right, but most of the times they should protect the student and help the student and make sure they feel good. And the fact that other women came forward, realized it made the case, and then the guy got fired, arrested, whatever happened to him, and stuff like that. Now, hope you enjoyed it so far. I really enjoyed it. I like the conversation we having. So now we got a blast in the past for Jordan's ex-boyfriend, Demetrius. He used to be, he used to be a player. She used to be falling in love with him. She would fall hard for him. He had the D, and Munch was not playing. He was not. It's like that. He got a good feel too. That's one of the big pockets. Well, so what was it? Oh, what was I? Oh, Demetrius, the ex-wife. She said, "Yeah, he had the demon D. He was a black and back, like he was a player and everything. She fell for him, and he was all that. So he was not good. Now he came back and he was wooing her, like all the money he had. He was taking her out, and all that stuff, and was doing good until she found out he has like a private investment into prisons and stuff like that, and realized she did not care for that because at the end of the day, I have a choice to do what I want to do. No, you made a choice. And what I am doing in the corporate ladder, sometimes no choice in everything I do what I have to do. And you have to understand that you choose to invest in something that's against the movement, at the end of the day. So that's why I say I always like Jordan Campbell because she always, at the end of the day, even though she's in situations that she could have let it go, because he was being a douchebag to the Harper as well. Like Dimitri was like, "Oh, you nothing else like that. You just wasn't on grade." And I was like, he was coming hard on Harper, and she had to find out information on him and realize this was up. So she said, "No, I can't. I can't." At the end of the day, as much as you might be good, you wine and dine me, you fly me out and do all that stuff like that. I can't mess with you like that because you chosen to invest in something that could was detrimental to the community. Even though it's making great money as a prison, stuff like that, but that's not something she go for. So she had to let him go. And Jordan was also the mother, well, the second mother, godmother to Nance's children. And one of Lance's children, LJ, is a son. Lance always felt like he should do football, follow her footsteps. Because, at this time, not only that Lance was dealing with his losses, um, late wife, he's trying to find himself with his purpose. To the point that he decided he thought he could go back to football and play a football player at 40 something years old. Realized that wasn't good. Then he decided to be a coach. Now the coach thing was a good thing for him. I said that was the best thing for you. Why you didn't coach Crushing first time? So he did coaching. But he always had this thing that he wanted to follow his footsteps, be a football player, doing this and doing that. Even though LJ was good at it, that's not what he wanted to do. Right? So he was also interning at Jordan's place. And, you know, as a godmother, so she always gave him a job and everything. And he said you have to go dress with your school uniform. You can come dress and you can the dress and everything. And we come to find out, LJ is more non-binary. So instead of the pronoun he and she, he would go by they or them. So Jordan was the first one to realize LJ's thing. When he came and strutting down that place, was doing all stuff like that. She's like, oh my gosh. And she did judge him. Yes. She did judge him. And she supported him and everything. Damn, why I'm saying that. See, you know, sometimes it's hard. She supported them. She didn't judge them and everything. And she supported they. And I think he was trying to, I guess she was trying to help him to at least ease the burden, to try to be there for him, be there for them before he tells their father. And I'll say, oh, their father. And sometimes it's kind of hard because you only want to go there, but I want to be respectful for the character. So it's going to give me a while. Their father. And everybody else in the cast started to find out about LJ. But they said Lance would not take it well. Now, Harper thinks that Lance will be okay. But I said no. Was it Harper or somebody else? One of them was thinking that Lance will be okay. It's different. It's his son. He should be good with it. And I said, you don't know Lance, right? As much as you think you know Lance, I don't think he will be that. Because he always wanted his son to be a football player, follow his steps, everything. So as much as I think that he would be like hardcore about it, I was just shocked how much he was so against it at first. Because you know how Lance is. When Lance gets really angry and emotive, he expresses himself in a harsh manner. And that's what he was doing towards LJ. So everybody, even Shelby's daughter, which is LJ was really close to, kept the secret. And they didn't want to tell the father yet because they won't understand. But eventually, soon later, it was going to come out, or some way he was have to be. They would have to be ready, and it wasn't ready yet. So it's about expressing himself and be what that person want to be. So how it came out of B, LJ was with what's Shelby's daughter's name? Paris. That's his name. I won't call her Paris for that. Y'all tell me her daughter's name in the comment section. It's like that. So they was together, and I guess they was tribal clothes, doing one way, and they recorded it. And I guess everybody had it on the phone of the recording. So when they was at the house, a party was a house. I think it was Quentin and Shelby's house. I think Shelby had it, that phone, and she played it on a big screen. And didn't realize that it was played. Yes, I feel like he might be upset, but I did not think that he will take it there like that. And I was getting scared. I said, no, don't do it. Because I thought he was going to hit LJ. I ain't going to front. I was shaking in my boots. I said, no, like, oh my God. And I was saying, why y'all played that? And I was like, LJ decided to post it. And it was on media, and I said, "Don't do it." And I was like, "Don't do it." No, they know they can't hear me. I said, "Don't post that thing. Don't do it." And he said, "F it." And I said, "No, you didn't tell your father yet." So, LJ, that was not a right thing to do. But I guess they didn't want to hide. it anymore. So once you put it on internet, it's gonna be out there. But the fact that Shelby played it on his big screen and then realized it too late, and then when LJ Lance saw it, and it was like, and she was like, hold up, turn it off, and it was like, oh my gosh, he already saw it, and baby, Lance was livid. The son of mine would be that. I would take this, and he was so. I was like, wow. He couldn't take it, and it's that thing where it's very hypocritical of Lance. That's one thing, because he can do whatever you want to do, but your son can express himself, themselves, and as that very hypocritical. The church, and that stuff. Like we ain't going down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I know. I'm going down the little stuff. So the religion, the aspects, and all that stuff, and I think it's like the fact that you thought it was for real the way how he was mad about it, because I didn't think it would go that far. Like he was really down in LJ, and you would not do that. And you went to go. What you want? You want to be you gay? And he said no. So what is that? I think he's want to be they wanted to be effeminate, and it's not about he don't even. They don't even know what they want. It's just not about them. It's like let them express themselves. It's hard, y'all. Sometimes, child. Let LJ express themselves in a manner they want to, and it's hard and everything because when you have a parent or parents that are supported, and sometimes I always tell if you have children, and when they get teenage age, that's a stage of exploration and finding themselves, and when you stifle that growth and love them enough to know that yes, the world will be cruel out there, but the first people that should not be cruel is the people in their self haven, is in the home. And when you're the first person that that's hating or at least dislike the expression of themselves, they take it hard. Because the point that Lance wanted to throw LJ's stuff away when he found out behind the picture, he wanted to throw the clothes, everything away, and they was like, "What you doing?" And LJ said, "I wish mom was still here and you was gone." I said, "Oh, child." I know that stuck a knife to his heart. To the point that he said, "Oh my gosh." Even the daughter, Lance's daughter, which is LJ's sister, was like, "Really? Really, Dad? Like, does it take that much to do all that?" And that when it did, I messed up. Then realized that Lance messed up. He really messed up. To the point that LJ ran away somewhere. Eventually, he was at a church. But, as a parent, when you just had a big argument with your child and they ran away, and you think the worst, like, they could happen. Like, it was missing, haven't become a home. They haven't come home, trying to find where they at. And your mind is all over the place. So, Jordan was with Lance, helping him finding his son, her godchild, and what's going on. They running around. They thought at one point they found a body and they thought it was him. And they said, no, 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 no. And I was like, oh my gosh. Even I was like, no. And I was like, I was getting emotional because it's like I'm in a community myself. Yeah, I know that. And it's like, even though my coming out story was not like LJ, me, I got a good relationship with my family and everything. Not everyone has that. So it's like when you don't have that moment that you feel like you should be accepted, it's crazy. So then your last fight with your child was an argument, and then it's possible that they be missing. It could do some damage in your mind, in your emotional state. So they were safe. It was one point that Lance went to a close friend of LJ's, which I think it was LJ's partner, friend, whatever it is, and even that partner was like, "Oh no, what is?" And it was trying. It was a little judgment, but it was fine in the church, and then they had a moment, and they had a heart to heart, and at the end of the day, it's more important not to lose his son to something extreme. Now, he may not understand it fully, but he will have to love and accept. And I'm glad they had that moment. And it was like, oh. It was a point when they had an interview, and then somebody was saying something, and then started speaking. I said, "You go ahead. You better speak up for your freaking child. Don't go play that." So that's that. Yeah, so I just said love your children when you have them. Because this is time that they need that. And sometimes these are cool. It's like, gosh, let it be. At the end of the day, you created this person, you should love them unconditionally. But people just being so wrapped up in their own mind don't realize the damage you do. But that's that. So Robin had an opportunity. Exactly. No matter what. No matter what. Because at the end of the day, your purpose and your goal is to make sure they be independent when they grow up. They be self-sufficient. And that's your goal. Happy in any realms that possible. And I know we all have different opinions about things, but your main goal for your children is make sure they are healthy, happy individuals when they get older. And give them space to find themselves in every aspect. Yes. So Jordan, at one point, thought she was pregnant. And I was like, who? And I said the only person she might was having sex with a lot was Demetrius. Because she said he had a devil D. It's like that. So he was probably banging her out. And I said, okay, that's the only person I think she could have sex with because she ain't had sex with the island boy. Because that's a done deal. So I guess it was Demetrius. So she thought she was pregnant. And to be honest, she was relieved, but at the same time, she was kind of like disappointed. Because she was at the one point, I'm not always in control. I was happy that something on the plan because she always set her life as planned. I'm going to do this. This is going to happen. This is going to be. This is my result. The next step. The next step. The next step. It's always planned. So when you always plan, it's something like disrupt that. You get frazzled. At some point, yes, when she found out she was pregnant, I guess Jordan was low key happy even though it was unexpected, but I don't think she was like, oh my God, something I did not plan to happen happened. So she was ready prepared for the mindset that she could be a mother. But fortunately, she was not pregnant and everything. But she was disappointed because she said, you know what? At a point, I felt like I always planned and I wanted to at least joy and see the moment of me uncertainty that I just not planned. It just happened. And I was hoping for that to happen. And she had her moment and everything. And I was like, oh. And that's why I say I like Jordan's character because she's like, she was ready. She was ready. Sometimes freak out and everything at a young age. No, she was not. She was ready, but it didn't happen. So it's like it was in the cards for her to be a mother, even though she was willing to accept it and just roll with the punches. So I was like, okay, I see. See, that's the depth of the characters. That's why I just love the depth of the characters. Child. Yes, it includes the plans, but you need to enjoy your life. Exactly. I do agree. You need to enjoy your life and everything. And as she has a career, she has everything going for her. And the fact that she could be possibly a mother, that was make up. She wouldn't have been happy about it. But it's just that she didn't plan it. But at the same time, she felt like it's okay. It's like I lost. I was not in control this time, and I was willing to accept it, but it did not happen. And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt for her. And I was like, you know what? I understand. I understand, Jordan. And that's when Les hold her hand and say, I got you. You there? Because that's why like the friendship between the friend group was so organic. Even though it was actors, it was like you could tell it's like they've been knowing each other for a long time and they can be open with each other and express themselves and all that stuff like that. The fact that she was there for him for this moment for finding his son, but at the same time, that moment that she expressed herself, he was there for her. And I said, I was like, I love that until he found out that they found where LJ was at. So Robin didn't get her place that she wanted, so she felt bad about that. She didn't want to live in that place anymore because she was like, what's the point? You have me moved over here. You never home. I'm always by myself. Like, what's going on? So she had an opportunity to go to Ghana, right? And I know a lot of people was like mad and pissed off with Robin and her decision that she gonna take Mia to Ghana. Although I understand people rage, upset about that, but let's think about it. Who is always home with the daughter? Who most of the time have the daughter? So would it have been any different when she moved down the block with the daughter and had custody? And now, granted, he changed the custody agreement, whatever he wanted to do, and change and petition different custody and everything. Because they were going to divorce. At that point, she was saying, you know what? It's not working out. You not doing what's going on. I don't feel fulfilled. So we're going to get divorced. And doing the divorce, the proceeding, legally, she can't take the baby without the other parent. If there was custody agreement put in place. Yeah, but at the same time, if he was never home, what is it? The daughter would have been on with Mia anyway. And you could tell she does right for the daughter. And you could tell at one point he realized that. Remember, he was fighting Robin for the custody of the daughter for some reason. I know that's crazy, but you have to understand this was an opportunity for her. And you have to understand, he's a writer. So you can mean to tell me he could sacrifice at least a month on someone to be down in Ghana with her? That's all she asked. They would never got to this divorce or got to this point if he would have just been there. You not understand the point. My thing is that yes, he's still the father. They never got to that point if he would have just did that. He was a writer. He could have write anywhere and still did what we had to do. He would never, the family would never got broken up. That's what I'm saying. So yes, I didn't feel like it was right for them to take the daughter, but at the same time, when you barely there in the household, the person would have been with the person who always taking care of the kid. I don't know, because she was still rocking with him, and she just wanted him to support her. And the fact that this one opportunity, she was asking for this one opportunity to go to Ghana for the summer, when he could write anywhere, and he refused to do that because he didn't want to leave. It was all about him. And you couldn't spend a month. We could write anywhere. It's not like you was tied to a job that you had to be in the office 9 to 5. You go anywhere in the world and still get your job done. Well, you basically traveling all the time anyway. So I didn't understand why he couldn't sacrifice this one little thing to be in Ghana for no summer. And I don't think the divorce when that happened. It probably eventually what happened, like you said, But this was the catalyst that fueled the divorce proceeding to happen. She said, I had enough. I begged you. We was going to counseling. You said we were going to try, and you didn't try. It is one opportunity you could have had done. The reason why, and then yes, he was pissed off, but you have to understand, he changed his mind with it because he realized that Mia would have been better off with Robin anyway. Because when Robin input and influence in the daughter, because when they went out and they sat at the park and Mia saw a homeless person digging in the trash and she gave the homeless person a sandwich. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that he tried to be amicable with divorce, she threw. To be honest, I don't think he was being amicable. I don't think he was being amicable. He was trying to control. He really didn't want her to leave. And he was forcing the hand. And two, when he decided to countersue or whatever, not countersue, change the custody agreement or whatever. This before the park. The park thing, when he saw and then he realized, you know what? I was wrong. I shouldn't have fight this. I should let it be. Because at the end of the day, she was not trying to break the family up. She just wanted you to go there and spend a month. Yeah, he didn't want his daughter to leave. We get that. We all understand that. My thing is, he could have been with them. Marty, that's the thing you're trying to understand. He could have been with them for a month. It was not about leaving. He didn't want to sacrifice when he's a writer. Yes, but the point is, he could have been with him. That's the point. She was not trying to break no family up. It was only like a program, only a summertime. And as a writer, he could have been there. That's the whole thing about it. And he did not want to do it because he wanted to control and stay whatever. It was always about him. The daughter would have been okay. Because at the end of the day, you know that Harper knew that the daughter would have been okay with Robin anyway. Because if she would have stayed with Harper, he wouldn't have the bandwagon or the temperament to be patient enough to be there for his daughter. Because he no one's around. When you absent most of the time in the presence of your family life, doesn't mean that you don't love his daughter. That you barely was home. So when the fact that you could have been with the family in Ghana for a month when you a writer, when you always travel, what was the big deal? That's what I'm trying to get at. What was the big deal? It to me is that Harper always wanted to control everything, and that's what drew the divorce to happen. You gonna make me hate? Yeah, because I was pissed. I was like, you could have spent the whole month. It wasn't a big deal. You would never go through this. And the fact that, because you know Murch, right? Murch was an attorney. He knew this thing. And he said you was dead wrong, Harper, for filing that thing. You don't fight that on this. No, that's not what it is. She wasn't planning to move to Ghana permanently yet. It was a program that she said it was only a summer. But since he wanted to be radical and move that she said, you know what, I'm going to permanently stay down there. And come down there with us. Because it would have came back anyway. But no, he didn't want to do that. So you know what, she said, you know what, I'm going to divorce and I'm going to move doing my thing. And Merce told Because everybody didn't like what Harper was doing. He was doing the most. He was definitely doing the most. So I didn't understand why everybody was mad at Robin more than Harper. Realized he was messed up. Now I get it, because I want nobody taking my kid without my input either. Yeah, but he barely is around. That's the point about it. Because he want to take this to court, and he would put a paperwork and say, okay, who's the predominant parent around the kid the most? It would have been the mother anyway. Not because she's the mother, it's the fact that the daughter is with the mother most of the time. He's always traveling. So granted, I'm not 100% saying it was not right to just take the daughter. I'm just saying that this situation could not went down that way if he just would have took that one moment and be there for Robin for that one time. And that it would have caught all that noise. It would never got that far. But because of his willingness to not bend, it took to this point. You had to think about it. You have to think about it logically. Take the own emotions out of it. You got to think about it. Harper's self-centered. He think about himself. The daughter's always with Robin all the time. One time they could have been together. Yeah, we could agree to disagree. We agree to disagree. We not agreeing to disagreeing, because I said I understand what your point is. My thing is, this would never happen if he just would have took that one sacrifice. So all this a debate about taking the daughter to Ghana would never happen. It would have never been a discussion if he would have done that. That's what I'm saying. That happened after he would be unreasonable to what she wanted for this one time. So I want to understand that. I don't know if everybody else will understand that, but I understand that. Because I'll say you could have did that. She knew this from day one, that it's hard for me on her side. For me on the side. So Merch told Harper he was wrong. And everybody else agreed with Robin. You was dead wrong, Harper. To the point that everybody got upset. They couldn't go to Lance. They ain't go to Lance. What was his thing? Closing ceremony? Retirement ceremony? With his jersey? Because he was the cause of it. And after the park scene, he realized, you know what? Robin would have been a better choice to have. And he would just have to make work, make do. It's not like he tied down and he can't be there. He had a chance. He had a chance. So I feel like he was a catalyst to make all this happen. And yes, as much spiteful that is that she was going to take the daughter, but it was never get to that point if he never just would have just not being unreasonable. And then, he would break down. He was crying in the house and all that stuff like that. And they had to chill him up. Realize. Because I said, man, you had it. Like, it was never. I was like, so sometimes when people get so much in their own self-worth, self-world, and don't think about other people's feelings and consideration, stuff like this happen. And then you realize after it's too late that the damage is done. You don't think for 1 second she was going to take the daughter away from him. And the point that it was nice. Even after she was in Ghana, she brought the daughters back to where the mom got the daughter and brought him to over there. So even then, she still was thinking about him. She could have said, nah, whatever. She still had a daughter. So I'm not gonna knock Robin for doing what she's doing, because at the end of the day, she still was always thinking about him. When he won that book, the new book that he wrote that he wanted to have. So yeah. So as much as everybody was pissed off about that, you had to think about the whole bigger picture. Yeah. Yeah. Co-parent better. They co-parent better. It could be if he was a more present parent. That's all. That's the problem. He was self-absorbed in his own world, and that's what it was. So he want to think that everything he said was gold, and everything other people was they opinions didn't matter. But part of it was that Robin wasn't saying much. That's the issue. She was always internalizing things, and she could have said something. So I feel like I see both sides of things, but I feel like it would never got to the point if he just would have done that one thing. What else? Yep. But I'm glad that she came. Exactly. It's a learning lesson to communicate and not yourself on background. Never settle. See the red flags. Red signs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. At the end of the day, we all want. And I think that was it. I think everything, I think I discussed everything they have. Oh, yes. One thing I forgot, yeah, Quentin had like a health scare. And I think he had a heart attack, like a mini heart attack and everything. And, that kind of shaked up his life and everything because his father was suffering dementia and everything. That sort of took the perspective. You know what? He needs to get his life together because listen, I had this one scare and his love wife was next to me and trying to change your diet, trying to change things, all that stuff. And he got stubborn at first, but then realized, you know what? When he had that second almost scare, it was a pinched nerve. It wasn't that thing, but it could look like it was freaking a heart attack, all that sort of that. He realized, you know what? He don't want to lose Shelby, and he likes his family, so he gonna do what he need to do. And his daughter called him dad the first time because he always was buying her love because he never was there around. So I said, yeah, I was like, oh yes, because she got scared. So they decided to be they understand each other. And also Shelby was kind of like jealous with the replacement of her and everything. And I said they could explore that a little bit more. They could explore more of Jordan with that Island Boy and everything else. They could explore a little bit more of other things as well. Also, Les engaged to Jasmine. It was so cute. Oh, you say eventually they was going to divorce? They was going to eventually get divorced? No, I'm saying I probably agree they probably could got the divorce. I feel like what led to that voice decision at that moment, instead of prolonging it, was that trip decision. It was like at the end of the day, there was just one little thing, and he keep failing. And even after she expressed that she just want him to be there for her, that's all she asked for. And then when he came for that little one thing when she was at that speech charity event, and he came, and then she decided to say, you know what, you go to the party thing. And that's when he had that little thing with Jordan, and they kissed, even though that was wrong. But I knew that was probably bound to happen. But it was wrong. It was nothing else. I think she always felt like Robin always felt like it was something more with Jordan or something like that. There could be more going on with those two. But that's part of the thing. So that fused with everything else. I feel like that last straw came about was because that trip thing, and that led to that divorce happening. They could have had the divorce sooner, later on, but I felt like that was the last thing, because that was the big thing for her. And as a writer, he could have did that. He could have been there. Yeah, it wouldn't have lead to a divorce. But when you go to counseling and you say he was gonna work on that, and he still wasn't doing that, then yes, it would have lead to divorce. So I wasn't disagreeing with Armani and y'all saying that it could lead to divorce. I feel like that scenario let it happen sooner than later. And you can tell because it played out. I want them to die, but on Shelby never told about his daughter. That was crazy. Yeah, exactly. What led her to not to say nothing? Yeah, I just agree with this. I feel like she been put in tape based on the test, so she wouldn't have been relationship with the track. Yeah, I feel like she would have continued looking for validation, eventually their relationship would have to. Yes. Yeah. I wasn't disagreeing. I was trying to make y'all understand that the purpose of what led to that decision at that moment it was after she expressed to him. Because all the time we were saying that she was not saying nothing. Then when she expressed to him and he was trying to say he was going to do it and then don't do it, it was like, okay. But nothing gave you the opportunity that you could not do it. That's the problem. He was a writer. We had a job that you could just go and leave and still do your job. You gonna be to tell me you cannot do that? That was pissed off. That was thing. Like none of y'all can understand if you had someone who could do it. They're not tied down. They could be mobile and still wouldn't do that one thing. Just think about it. If you was in that position, you will feel type of way about it. Because I would say, damn. It's all love here. We got no hatred, y'all. I love all y'all. I love opinions. But granted, y'all, I'm not advocating for no one to take their child away from another parent and all that stuff. But you do have to be present in your child's life. I grew up without a father. So if you have two parents and one parent never around, you're basically growing up in a one parent household or hardly around. That's what some women act like. Some people act like I'm a single parent in a married household because, and then when shit hit the fan, then you exert your dominance and did what he did. It's like Loving Matters Huntsville. Martell was trying to file full custody and everything, and he dogged the whole family out. So that's a whole control tactic, and that's why everybody would say he was wrong. But this was good, y'all. I have loved the best bit. I feel like more could have been done down to tie down more stuff and everything. But oh yeah, after divorce happened, and I guess with the Ghana, and that was a sad moment too. Don't get me wrong. I was touched. I was like, oh my gosh, the daughter's crying. It was a sad situation, but I feel like that could have been avoided. That's the whole thing about that. That was got upset. That could have been avoided. But he wanted to give her Jordan, and Jordan said, "Nah, get yourself together, work on yourself. In the future, stuff happens. Stuff happens. But I'm gonna do me, and I myself work. We good friends. I was gonna be here for you and everything, whatever you need. That's it. But this can't happen. And I'm glad she shut that down because I would say that would have been a rebound. It would have been a rebound, and that would never gonna work. And I was like, that right there was a good thing, Jordan. Just stop that. Because you always want to feel like it's all about me, 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 me. Nah, 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 nah. Yeah, I did that one kiss one time, and nobody knew about it. But everybody suspected something was going on. But that's it. But that was the best man, y'all. And like I said, it was so good. I enjoyed it. I appreciate that. I appreciate the debate, the conversation that I gave me, everything. So I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everything. I appreciate it. I was like, I want to talk about it so bad and see your opinions. And it was great. And I appreciate Jason and Amani giving their opinions and things like that because I never was against them. Yeah, I just was trying to explain the things a different way. Renee, thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Amani, for coming through. Maya LaRue. Who else? And all the replay game. Appreciate y'all. Please, if y'all replay it and watch it, let me know how y'all feel in the comment section down below. Tell me your thoughts. How y'all feel about it. How y'all feel about the Robin and Harper thing situation. How you feel about the other couple, Shelby and Q, and Candace and Harper. Everything. How you feel about Jordan's and Jordan character. How you feel about Lance and his son interaction. And stuff like that. Do you happy that Lance moved on and found a new person named Jasmine? And because they got engaged and everything. So it was great. I feel like it could be another season. And if so, I will review that season as well. So without further ado, I appreciate y'all. And as well, look out for my Potomac review, which will be out probably tomorrow on Tuesday. In my Are You Serious video, when I'm talking about Funky's bashing Amel and Phaedra supposed to be joining Married to Medicine. How y'all feel about that? So check out those 2 videos this week. I love y'all. Be safe out there. Thursday will be movie night. We might watch 7 Women in a Murder. That's on Netflix. And I might talk about that. See y'all again next Sunday when we talk about Growing Up Hip Hop, Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, Love and Marriage DC, and The Ultimatum France. All right? Have a good night, y'all. Love y'all. If I missed anything, y'all put it down in the comment section down below. And peace out. All right, have a good night, y'all. Peace out.